recording and both. Hi everyone, welcome to 28th of January and I hope everyone is doing well. Good morning to everyone. I hope the audio and video is clear. And the audio and video is good morning Parikshit, good morning everyone. Audio and video is clear to everyone. So let's come to 28th of January and move towards the important topics. But before I move toward the topics, one of the most important courses from Insights IAS for the students who are preparing for UPSC CSE examination is OGP program, that is offline and online guidance program. It is a full-fledged integrated classroom program for freshers like who are just starting, who don't even know what is UPSC examination, how to do preparation for it. So this is starting, and this program will focus for 2026 aspirants, like who will give prelims in 2026. So it's a program for 2026, and this is our batch 2. It would be starting on 6th February 2025. For all details, you can scan the QR code, and this entire course has been designed and it's under the guidance of Vinay sir, who is the founder and director of Insights IAS. So if any of your friends or you yourself are looking for a full-fledged OGP course or a civil services comprehensive course, this is the course you need to take admission in. Okay, and you can also call on the Insights number, and there are a lot of courses regarding prelims, mains, multiple test series, or if you're a main student, then we have got also a program called SPG, which is related to your mains, in which you can send questions from multiple sources and we'll be evaluating it. We have permanent evaluators, so there are multiple programs which we run at Insights, so you can always send it, and you can go on our website also, and where you will get all the details. Okay. Now, thought for the day is, we are what we repeatedly do. Success is not an action but a habit. So the difference, I always say the difference between a person who clears the examination and who doesn't clear the examination, a person whose ranking keeps on increasing, and the person who lags behind, even if they are completing syllabus, is the difference of revision. Revision is the key, my dear friend, revision. A person who keeps on revising the things which he is reading, obviously his knowledge will increase. It is something like that if you're constantly meeting a person, if you're constantly meeting a teacher, or if you're constantly meeting someone you really like or someone you aspire. For example, if you actually like Virat Kohli, Mahendra Singh Dhoni, Rohit Sharma, or any cricketer or sports person, it is 10 that you will remember their records. Even if you don't want to remember their records, you will remember it. For example, the Australian series happened, and I'm an avid cricket follower. So specifically the test matches of India and Australia. So I was waking up in the morning, saw some matches. So even if I don't want to remember the records, I'll remember it because I have an interest in it. I'll keep going towards it again and again. Similarly, when you're preparing for UPSC or any other examination, unless you keep on revising, that means going back to it again and again, again and again, again and again. And when you start doing it, obviously you will remember it more, and that is the difference between a person who clears the examination and who doesn't. Revision is the most important key, because once you keep on revising, for example, you've completed Lakshmikant once, then twice, then thrice, obviously fourth time the effort would be less, you would remember a lot of things, and that is how you become very good in a subject. That is how, if you practice MCQs, PYQs and multiple times, revision helps you. That is why revision is the key, my dear friend, and that is something which we need to do repeatedly. You want a repeat mode of revision. Revision is something which will take you to the next phase of successful life, and it is not only towards revision. Even if you're working somewhere and you're continuously working on the areas which are gray areas for you, which you are not good, but if you keep working on it, eventually you will become good in that. So this is a wonderful thought for the day. Now moving towards the news. Most important news for today is DeepSeek. DeepSeek has come. It is China's answer to America's GPT, and it has created mayhem in the AI world. Trillions of dollars have been lost by GPT, Nvidia, and many other countries. And DeepSeek, why it is, why everyone is talking about this DeepSeek AI, it's like Chat GPT only, because it has been made at a cost of less than $6 million. On the other hand, if we talk about millions and billions of dollars have been poured in creating these GPT and AI tools, but at a fraction of cost, China has created this, and that also when artificial intelligence technology by America has been stopped to China. So necessity is the mother of invention, and China has been able to do it. That necessity was there, and since technology was not given to them, they created their own tool, and this tool is free, and it has created mayhem in the entire world, and everyone in the world is today talking about DeepSeek. You just put DeepSeek and multiple articles will come out. Everyone is talking about this. So this is one of the most important news that we will be covering today. Apart from that, India, China to resume direct flights, issue visas. So relationship getting smoothness in the relationship is coming. But again, with China, we need to be cautious about it. Then DeepSeek we'll cover. Indonesia naval delegation visits BrahMos office in Delhi. So yesterday we were covering, and the article in the Hindu was talking about that it was expected that the BrahMos deal should get finalized and signed, but nothing came after the Republic Day. But as I told you in the class, that there might be some formalities or they might want to check. And this is a step moving towards that direction, that the Republic Day parade is over. The Indonesian President Subianto came, he was at the chief guest, MOUs were signed, but now the next step is that the naval chief of Indonesia is in India. He visited a lot of places, specifically the naval complexes, and we are moving towards the finalization of the BrahMos deal. Till now, it has not been finalized, but we are working on it. Philippines, the deal has already been finalized and given, but Indonesia can become the second countries to get BrahMos. Second country to get BrahMos. In editorial, report on state finances, roadmaps needed. If you remember, on 25th of January also we had covered this, but a wonderful editorial in Indian Express has also come. So this news we have taken from Indian Express. DeepSeek we have taken from The Hindu, from some other newspaper also, and also from Vantage. That is in Vantage, that is which comes on first post. It is taken by Palki Sharma ma'am, and she has wonderfully covered. So some snapshots have also been taken from there, which will give you a lot of information. In prelims decode, we talk about Guillain-Barre Syndrome, if I'm pronouncing it correctly. Guillain-Barre Syndrome, so in some cases, one person has died because of this in Pune, and more than 100 cases have come in Pune. So we'll talk about this, why this is important, and what is this syndrome all about. So let's move towards the first important news. India, China to resume direct flight issue visas. So Vikram Misri meeting Wang Yi, if you see, so he was, these measures were announced when Vikram Misri, who is in, foreign secretary, who is in China, and he is meeting there Wang Yi. And if you remember, he would also be meeting the former person who was ambassador to India from China. And Vikram Misri was also India's ambassador to China, so he knows China very well in that context. Plus, what we are seeing right now is that this is a continuation of efforts which have been taken place. The first effort started on, when the 16th BRICS Summit started on 21st October, the formal meetings happened, and between the Prime Minister Modi and Xi Jinping, at that point of time, mutual trust, mutual respect, and we were talking about, how we can disengage at Galwan friction points, which has happened, and go, to status quo pre-April 2020. So then things started moving. Then External Affairs Minister also met Wang Yi at Rio de Janeiro G20 summit. Then special representative meeting in which Doval also met. He went to Beijing and met important people there. After that, defense ministers meeting also happened between India and China. And now, after that, the latest development which is coming right now is that Vikram Misri meeting Beijing, and these things have started. And I've told you, I've continuously maintained that India is now becoming very important for China. Trump has taken a lot of steps. Trump, what he said, he has started deporting people back to Colombia and Mexico. Yesterday, Colombia was the head of state of Colombia. He was trying to give some rebuttals, and that how Colombians have been returning, this is not the right way. But then Trump is not at all bothered about it. He is very clear that he wants to all these illegal migrants will be deported back. He is very clear about it, what he wants to do. So, and he also, the Prime Minister Modi has also spoken to Donald Trump after Donald Trump has taken the presidency. He also spoke to him when he became the elected president, but that was more of a congratulatory tone and, giving him, wishing him congratulations and all those things. But this time the talk between Prime Minister Modi and Donald Trump has come, and the only statement which is available in the open platforms is that, that you are my old friend and congratulations and so on and so forth. But what exactly happened in the call, we should be waiting about it. But the news which is coming from a lot of sources is that Donald Trump did speak about the illegal Indians which are there, and Indians have responded very positively to that. That statement has come from External Affairs Minister also, that if there are illegal Indians which have gone there, illegal migrant Indians who have gone and are staying in America, we are ready, you can deport them and we are ready to accept them. So because migrants is a very important issue for America and Donald Trump was talking about that throughout the elections. So why I am talking about America in this news, I'll explain to you what is the reason. So America and India are trying to reach, they're already good relationship, but Donald Trump would want that India should be more aligned with America in the context of migrants and other technologies. Second is that America will start dumping out, or rather start digging and start taking out oil. When the oil comes out, they will ask India to buy oil and gas from America, and India might want to buy it. They probably will want to give it at some discount or something, because Donald Trump is also talking about that if you come to America for manufacturing, you will get one of the lowest, or rather the lowest taxes in the world, and it would be lower than the Trump taxes also. So his focus is to make America great again, and he will want India to be getting sidelined, or India to get inside with America. That is why the first meeting after Trump taking charge was of Quad. So Trump is very clear, once Russia-Ukraine is over, and second when Iran-Israel more or less getting over, then the focus would be, or rather the focus is towards China. No important steps have been taken till with China, but China is an important threat. They tried to stop giving AI technology, they created DeepSeek. So in that way, China is evolving and growing. In this context, America want India to be on their side, and they might want to put a lot of tariffs on China. If they put a lot of tariffs on China, then China would be requiring one country where they can do a lot of trade, and that is why India becomes very important for them. And that is why you see this kind of behavior, the positive behavior has started by China. So we need to be very wary and cautious about this kind of behavior which China is doing. We need to utilize China for our benefit. Similarly, China would also be trying to do same, but we cannot trust China. And in future, as the two important giants which are rising in the world are China and India, it is a matter of time, and I'm 100% sure about it. If you follow the war philosophy and war diplomacy and strategic thinking in Chinese thought process, they will never like a rising India. They don't even like Americans for that matter. And since we share a border with China, it is a matter of time in 20, 30 or 40 years that we will have a huge amount of skirmish or a war, not necessarily ground war. It can be anything. It can be economic war, cyber war, but a skirmish will happen with the China in coming 30, 40 years. And I don't have any doubt about it. It is just a matter of time, because we are rising, they are also rising, but currently China need India because of the Americans, and that is why these kind of positive news have started coming. So I wanted to give you a context why this is happening, what is the reason behind it. Okay, now I hope that you would be clear about it, and hence I was talking about what's happening in the context of America. So India and China are restarting direct flights, visa issuance, people-to-people exchanges, Mansarovar Yatra after a 3-year suspension due to pandemic and LAC tension. Pandemic and LAC are there, but most importantly, Chinese economy is slowing down. They need newer market. Domestic consumption in China is coming down, and India is a very important country. That is why America would also be vying for India, and China knows that we are sharing a border with India. And at the same time, if you see that China will talk about trade, at the same time they will also want to check India by creating skirmishes on the border or creating counties. That is a typical Chinese strategy. So measures were announced following a meeting between Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri and Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi in Beijing. So Mansarovar pilgrimage scheduled to resume in the summer of 2025. That is this. So it should be starting somewhere about May, June time. Hydrological cooperation discussion on trans-border rivers and resumption of sharing hydrological data. It was shared earlier also, but it was stopped between. Now it will be started again. Cultural exchanges, plans for think tank and media interaction, as this year we are celebrating 75 years of India-China diplomatic relationships. We are also celebrating 60 years of India-South Korea, India-South Korea, if I'm correct. Yes, India-South Korea. Sorry, India-Singapore. I beg your pardon. India-Singapore, 60 years of diplomatic relationship. So got confused with South Korea. So India and Singapore are celebrating 60 years and India and China are celebrating 75 years. So the Singapore president was also in India. We had covered that in the Daily Decodes when they, President Murmu and the president of Singapore, they had released a logo. If you remember, we had completed that news also. So economic and trade discussion, despite record rate, both sides are addressing restrictions and concerns. So there are certain Indian concerns and then there are certain Chinese concerns. Indian concerns are more or less related to one of the major issues, that boring technology, that is tunnel boring machine. We are requiring tunnel boring machines, and this technology that is not being given by China. China is saying that we are ready to negotiate on this, and and we'll make sure that you get this technology. Time will tell what happens. And second important thing is APIs. Now, APIs are very important pharmaceutical ingredients. In a very layman's language, APIs are the raw material which were required for creating, medicines and everything. Now, China has been very smart. I think I've covered in previous decodes also. When you talk about any important product, most important technologies in the world, most important manufacturing product in the world, the raw material to create that hegemony over that raw material is of China in most of the materials, and that is how they are dominating the world. Similarly, to create medicines and pharmaceutical goods, it is important to have APIs, and APIs are controlled majorly by China. India might be the largest manufacturer of generic drugs, but to create generic drugs you need APIs, and those APIs come from China. Now India is saying that that there has been withholding of APIs and critical equipment like tunnel boring machines which we need. So these are India's concerns toward China, and Chinese concerns are that investment restriction and denial of business visas, that Chinese businessmen who are coming to in India, business visas have not been given and investment have been stopped. Now this investment had been stopped after 2020 when we got to know that in some of our banks the investment of Chinese investors was increasing, and we thought that there might be a threat by them in the future, that if they control our very important sectors or companies or business houses or banks, and that is why it was restricted that if you want to invest in Indian companies or banks, you need to take government decision, you need to take government permission, and this is basically they are talking about. So let's see what India will take. I think on some sectors which are not very critical, we can allow a certain amount of investment to a certain extent which might not need the government approval, probably 5-10%, that obviously the government will be better to do so. I'm not an economist, I'm just suggesting as a analyzer. So I think in certain sectors, in critical sectors, definitely there's a huge question mark and might be a big no to it. But in the sectors which require huge amount of investment, which require to grow, we can accept and invite the Chinese investment, but it should be vetted properly. Once it is vetted properly, then once we have done our checks and balances, then it might be a go ahead. So the aim right now is to promote policy transparency and predictability in trade relation, the policy transparency between India and China. Now, good part is that India maintains policy transparency and there's a predictability how India does. This cannot be said with China. That's the problem. For example, in 2018, Modi goes to Wuhan to have an informal summit with Xi Jinping. In 2019, Xi Jinping comes to India in Mamlapuram and we have an informal summit. In 2020, we get Galwan. So this was not expected, and this is why I am saying that China is unpredictable and their policies are not transparent. This is the problem. So recently somebody had asked me that why China does not play this kind of game with Pakistan. See, Pakistan is not a threat to China. India is a threat to China. India is a rising economy. Pakistan is a vassal state. It is a slave state. It is totally dependent on China. China can buy it, chew it, or decompose it. It can do anything with Pakistan. That is exactly the relationship of Pakistan and China. And that is why you will never see an aggressive China towards Pakistan, because Pakistan is not a threat. But India is a threat. Even if India does not believe that China is a threat, but Chinese will always believe their, their thought process, their war strategies are aligned like this. Okay. In diplomatic resumption, the meeting signals a full resumption of bilateral mechanism. Okay, mechanism including high-level dialogue on economic, defense and strategic issues. Resumption follows effort to stabilize relation after the deadly Galwan clashes in 2020. Concerns over China's hydropower project, this is also something which we need to talk about, that I mean to say India and China need to talk about, because Chinese have said that there is no threat on the lower riparian state because of the construction of dam on the Brahmaputra river. I think the discussion will definitely happen on this. Now, this is something they need to talk. No confirmation on future Modi-Xi informal summits like Wuhan and Mamlapuram, which was in 2018 and 1920 of your Mamlapuram. Now, in conclusion, the resumption of key engagement is to stabilize and rebuild India-China relationship, people-to-people centric measure and economic collaboration. But again, we need to be cautiously optimistic about China. We need to be very smart in handling China, how China handles various countries in the world. So this was the first important news. Now moving to the topmost news for today, that is, what is DeepSeek and why is it disrupting the AI sector? So see, this DeepSeek, as I started today's important news, I told you this DeepSeek has created mayhem in the entire world. The stocks, companies like Nvidia, ChatGPT, their stocks have come down, and more than around $1 trillion have been lost because of DeepSeek. It's like a free AI app similar to ChatGPT, but it has been created at a fraction of cost compared to this other other AI tools like ChatGPT or Microsoft Copilot or Google Gemini and many other things. Now, America had stopped giving the AI technology, or they rather wanted to ban any kind of AI technology going to China so that China does not go ahead in the AI race. But as I said in the start of the lecture that, necessity is the mother of invention, and this necessity created DeepSeek. China went on and they have created DeepSeek at a fraction of cost, around less than $6 million. And this speaks loudly and bravely about China in terms of research and development. We need to give credit where it is due, and China have marched ahead. China recently, that news for artificial sun was also in the news, where they were doing that nuclear fusion for energy. So Chinese are working a lot on research and development, and they are making huge strides, and that is something really commendable, and India needs to learn from them, at least on this perspective. So it was a bloodbath on the Wall Street. And why the bloodbath? Because Chinese app created this bloodbath, and the name of that app is DeepSeek. Morning tech stocks have been tumbling, and they are set to lose. I mean to talk about yesterday. They are set to lose $1 trillion, and now this DeepSeek has also become the most downloaded GPT AI app in America. #1 it has become, and it was also free. This led to Chinese chatbot. It is called DeepSeek, and it has caused mayhem in the AI world. Companies like Nvidia, Broadcom, Microsoft suffered significant losses, leading to a projection of $1 trillion market dip. That is what this has created. And if you see its interface is very similar to ChatGPT only, but there is one catch in it. If you ask anything about Chinese government, if you ask anything about Xi Jinping, if you ask anything about their leadership, the app says that it does not have the knowledge, or it can't comment on that. So again, their app has also been designed in such a way that it will not say anything in the government. So the communist philosophy does come in that. Okay. So anyways, DeepSeek, a Chinese chatbot, has created turmoil in the tech world and Wall Street. It challenges AI industry norms by being cost efficient. This is the most cost efficient compared to this, chat GPT. Millions and billions of dollars have been put behind this. And in the artificial intelligence world, millions of rupees is nothing. It is millions of dollars is nothing for them, because that is the huge amount of investments of creating those servers and cooling system and whatnot. But China creating this around for $6 million is really commendable. That is why cost efficient. It is chip independent now. The Americans have stopped giving those important chips which are needed to create GPUs, and GPUs are something which run these artificial intelligence systems. But they created on Nvidia chips only, but Those are not very high standard chips and globally appealing also, similar to Chat GPT. So if you see the tech stocks took a tumble, they take a tumble. Nvidia was coming down, Broadcom, AMD, Microsoft, Google. If you see 12.5%, 14%, 4.7%, 4.4%, 3.2%, this just happened because of one app, and around $1 trillion was lost. Just imagine, 1,000 billion dollars is worth $1 trillion. Okay. Now, Chinese AI startup DeepSeek has launched the advanced model, that is DeepSeek V3 and DeepSeek R1, disrupting the AI sector. Models are praised for cost efficiency comparable to industry leaders like OpenAI and Meta. Okay, so Meta is that Mark Zuckerberg's company, and OpenAI CEO is Sam Altman, and OpenAI product is what we call Chat GPT. The name of the company is OpenAI. AI stands for artificial intelligence, and the product name is Chat GPT. Okay, and GPT now has various versions, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and if you are using the paid version, that is different. So company's innovative approach has raised questions about US tech giants' multi-billion-dollar AI investments. So why is DeepSeek disruptive? And first of all, you see this gentleman on your screen. This is Liang Wenfang. Okay, see, this is Liang Wenfang, and this is the founder of DeepSeek. Before becoming the founder of DeepSeek, he used to have a hedge fund. So he used to invest in share markets and stock exchange. But he realized that, probably he must have realized that there's a lot of money which you can make in artificial intelligence. So he moved from hedge funds, and now he has created DeepSeek, and I'm telling you, his valuation will start, skyrocketing now. It will start going very high. That is just a matter of time. Now we are talking about it. Once DeepSeek became famous yesterday, in the entire tech world, people knew him, but the common people will also start knowing him, and it is only a matter of time that you will see him in international forums, probably talking to Elon Musk or probably Chat GPT, Sam Altman. The time for him has come now if the continuous progress happens. So cost efficiency, DeepSeek V3 training cost reportedly used less than $6 million in NVIDIA H800 chips, making it significantly cheaper than competitors. So it is cheaper, it is using substandard chips compared to like ChatGPT, Meta. They use NVIDIA's top chips, which are very expensive. They did not have the capability to buy it, or that technology was stopped. So they were using the NVIDIA's lower version of the chips, but the performance of this DeepSeek is as good as ChatGPT, and the cost with which it is made is very minimal compared to the GPT and other tools. Then that is why DeepSeek became very famous. Plus, it is free. So performance, DeepSeek R1 is 20 to 50 times cheaper to use than OpenAI's O1 model. DeepSeek's AI assistant has surpassed ChatGPT as the top-rated free app on the US Apple App Store. And number of downloads has taken. Probably GPT might be having number of downloads very high because it has been for a high period of time, larger period of time. And when I said that they have crossed the number one in the terms of not downloads, I'm talking in the terms of top-rated free app I was talking about. So skepticism and allegation. Now many people have said that this app is not telling us the reality, and government has given them top NVIDIA chips which they might have got from the black market. So Scale AI CEO Alexander Wang claimed DeepSeek has 50,000 NVIDIA H100 chips, potentially violating US export controls they might have got from black market, but this is again an allegation. Analysts from Bernstein expressed doubts about the accuracy of reported costs, suggesting hidden training expenses. Probably this might be true, which we don't know about. It might be true also. But whatever said and done, America was trying to stop China, and China went ahead. This reminds me of the same story in around 1998 to 1999 when we did our Pokhran test. Multiple sanctions on technology, from cryogenic engines to multiple sanctions on ISRO was done. And then because of those sanctions, we could not get the technology from Russia or any other country. But eventually, since necessity is the mother of all invention, we started creating our own technology, and see where ISRO has gone now. And we are also creating, satellites, or our missions are also a fraction of cost compared to NASA. So America might want to stop the technology, but that does not mean that if you don't give your technology, the world will not make, because they are many intelligent people, and America should realize this, that many Indians and many Chinese are working in America, which are very smart people. Okay, so if you are not giving them, then these Indians will work in India and make India, or for that matter China, grow like anything. So this is your DeepSeek. How can I help you? So if you see, this looks almost like a replica of Chat GPT. Okay, so Chinese are very good in copying. It looks exactly same. So Meta AI, China's cheap open AI models, DeepSeek thrills scientists. Chinese AI startup DeepSeek overtakes Chat GPT on Apple app stores. So it was founded by Ling Wangfang, co-founder. He used to be a hedge fund high flyer. So his hedge fund used to be known as High Flyer. It transitioned to AI research in 2023, focusing on artificial general intelligence (AGI). The fund reportedly owns 10,800 chip cluster and holds patent for chip cluster also. So Beijing supports, obviously there was no doubt Beijing did give support. Without that, this was not have been possible. So it successfully aligns with Chinese policy of AI self-sufficiency. Founder Liang Wenfei attended a symposium hosted by Premier Li Qiang, highlighting government recognition of DeepSeek achievement. Now this, this CEO, this the founder, and this Chinese support which he is getting, this will only continue till the time this CEO or founder is aligned with the Chinese government and party policies. The once he does not align with those government and party policies, like his tool DeepSeek, it starts talking about the Xi Jinping and all those restrictions which have been put on the app, they are removed, then he might not be. The CEO might also go in hidden, or the government will make him in hidden. This is something which happens in China. So just to tell you, apart from this, we also need to understand from DeepSeek point of view that from 2003 to 2007, China only commanded three out of the 64 most important technologies in the world. But if you talk about today in 2025, China now leads in 57 out of 64 technologies, compared to US leadership is only in 7 technologies. This tells how Chinese focus on R&D and how China is going. This is something India needs to learn from China. It is correct that it was the Americans who gave this initial technology to China. They funded it, they gave them the markets, and China utilized it. Probably Americans might not be doing the same with India, because because they have done the same thing with China. So in that context, but at least, the technology was given to China, but China also started working on its own, focused on its research and development. And today they are leading in 57 out of 64 technologies compared to the US. This also tells that Donald Trump, and that shows the desperation of Donald Trump. And that is why he talks about making America great again, because the leap which has been taken by China is far, far ahead, and America will need to pull up all their horses and socks to fight them. So US sanctions aimed at curbing Chinese tech growth have failed, and rather they have, if they would have given the technology, probably DeepSeek might have come later or might not have been so great. But since they did not, they have created at $6 million only. So this is some very important facts and numbers showing how geopolitical things changing. So in 2003 to 2007, US was leading 60 out of 64 technologies, and China was leading in 3 out of 64 technologies. But in 2024, US is only 7 out of 64 technologies, and China is leading in 57 out of 64 technologies. This is showing the hegemony of how Chinese hegemony is increasing in the world technology, because whoever empowers or whoever holds important technology, they will dominate the world. There is no second doubts about it. Okay. So in this context, DeepSeek is limited by self-censorship, especially on topics related to Beijing or Xi Jinping. So responses to political sensitive questions are filtered reflecting Chinese agenda. This is something eventually which will be taken by a lot of liberals, or who support the American policy, that they will criticize this. This is something how the founder and his DeepSeek works around this. Let's see how it happens. So there also we are now working towards something called sovereign AI future, that every country, because America has say ChatGPT, or they have Gemini and all, or so on and so forth. China has DeepSeek. So every country will eventually be creating their own AI top tool, because it is looking like their weapons only, or like looking like their AI army only. Because Chinese DeepSeek will never say anything against the China. So the growing control of AI by countries like the US and China highlights the need for sovereign AI, that you need to have your independent AI also. because a lot of people would be putting their data, say we are putting a lot of our data in chat GPT. Now GPT servers are not in India for that matter, right? So your data is flowing outside and you are asking a lot of questions which might be very personal in nature, and that is why you will require sovereign AI. This is what we are moving towards. Like you have defense and weapons to maintain the sovereignty, now to maintain the virtual sovereignty and the integrity of the country. In terms of digital system, you might also need sovereign AI in future. So nations must develop own AI ecosystems similar to having their own currency or military to ensure autonomy and security. This is exactly what I am talking about. Like you have got currency, you've got your own military. Similarly, you will also need sovereign AI in the future. Okay. In conclusion, if we move, DeepSeek has emerged as a game changer in AI sector. Skepticism remains that, was it actually made at this cost? Okay. And it is really cost effective. Time will tell about that. The company growth also underscores China's ambition to become a global leader in AI technologies. They're already dominating in the 57 technologies, and that is something which we need to be very, very wary about it. Because when China dominates, at least when America dominates, they might even share something. But China, when you go through their philosophy and their war philosophy, when they dominate, only they dominate. So, however, the chatbot also underscores the challenge of political bias, geopolitical device, and necessity of sovereign AI development, which we just covered. So, as AI advances, we face a future technology could divide nation rather than unifying them, because this might definitely happen. Donald Trump might have not expected that the DeepSeek, they must be expecting that DeepSeek will come, but it will create such a big mayhem, and also in the America, this nobody expected, and that is why that is why America is very cautious of China, and that is why Donald Trump is taking so many steps. So artificial intelligence, which should have united the world, it has already started, crumbling cracks which we can see in the world has started happening. Let's see what is the future of the world. Is it the Terminator, these machines will come with artificial intelligence and dismantle the world? Only time will tell. Okay, so we have a wonderful question. DeepSeek is based in Beijing and specializes in quantum computing. No, it is an AI. Its AI model are reportedly 20 to 50 times cheaper than to use OpenAI's model. Correct statement. DeepSeek V3 was trained using NVIDIA's H800. So 2 and 3 statements are correct. B is the correct answer to this question. Okay, so DeepSeek is based in Hangzhou, not Beijing, and specializes in AI and not quantum computing. So Hangzhou and artificial intelligence, both very important. I also added a mains question. Discuss the significance of DeepSeek's AI advancement for global technology landscape. Very important. Some pointers which when you talk about global technology landscape, you'll also have to put some pointers related to that. Geopolitical issues which are happening. 57 out of 64 technology dominated by China, and also put points forward in terms of sovereign AI. Okay. Moving forward. Now, next important news is Indonesia naval delegation visits BrahMos office in Delhi, apprised of a weapon system. So, I've added some points related to BrahMos also. So, BrahMos is a long-range nuclear-capable supersonic missile. It is the fastest supersonic missile in its category, but many people say that it is one of the fastest. It is capable of speeds up to Mach 3. It can be launched from air, sea, and land. It has been integrated with the forces. It was developed by BrahMos Aerospace in the partnership with the Russia, and tested for the first time in 2001. And the BrahMos name is based on rivers Brahmaputra and Moskova of Russia. And it is an offensive missile weapon system already inducted into the armed forces. And right now, the Indonesians are looking for that, since their naval chief is there, they are looking for the integration more towards the naval side, and that hence we are seeing the naval chief. So this is some capability of the BrahMos on the naval side also. So Indonesian Navy Chief Admiral Muhammad Ali visited BrahMos Airspace in New Delhi of advancing India-Indonesian defense ties and moving towards $450 million BrahMos missile deal, which would make Indonesia the second export market after the Philippines. Philippines we have already exported. Indonesia is looking for. If Indonesia also buys, then there might be more countries around the Southeast Asia or ASEAN nation which might go for BrahMos, specifically which share borders or which are near to China to counter the Chinese threat. So Admiral Ali met Jethat R. Joshi, which is the CEO and MD of BrahMos. discussion centered on formidable capabilities of supersonic missile system and how this can help Indonesia and what more kind of defense collaboration can happen with Indonesia. So naval interactions, bilateral talks were held with Indian Naval Chief, that is Admiral D.K. Tripathi, strengthening operational collaboration between the Indian Navy and the Indonesian Navy, also advancing joint exercise like Samudra Shakti, which happens between India and Indonesia, tackling maritime challenges such as piracy, illegal activities, and also there are always a threat of the bigger shark, and that bigger shark is your China. So visit highlights, the Admiral Ali also toured some important areas, Information Fusion Center, Indian Ocean region, then Weapons and Electronic System Engineering Establishment, 2 areas which he visited, and BrahMos missile deal signifies growing defense ties between the 2 maritime neighbors. We had been covering India, Indonesia for the last couple of days. Subianto's visit, the President Subianto's visit in Republic Day, some of the MOUs which was signed, and this is again one more chapter is being added to it, that the Indonesian Naval Chief Ali has been in India and he has visited important naval complexes, BrahMos, and moving towards the finalization of $450 million BrahMos deals. So it reflects India's growing defense export potential and deepening maritime cooperation with Indonesia. And Indonesia is very important from the point of view of Lombok Strait, Strait of Malacca, and to counter China in the future. And I feel that Indonesia might also become part of Quad or Quad Plus in the future. Okay. So BrahMos deal, if finalized, underscores India's effort to enhance regional security and strengthen strategic partnership. So we have a question. BrahMos missile is a joint venture between India and Russia, correct? The Philippines was the first export market for a BrahMos system, correct? Indonesia has already signed the BrahMos missile deal with India. No, we are in advanced talks with Indonesia. It's a $450 million deal, but it has not been signed. Hopefully in future it will be signed. So A is the correct answer, 1 and 2. I've also added a question for means. Discuss the significance of India-Indonesia defense cooperation in the context of ongoing BrahMos missile deal. So a lot of pointers have been added. You can go through that. And in the IPM 1.0 test series, this is started on 25th January, day before Republic Day. 106 tests are available in this, 54 prelims and 52 tests. And on this number 80 69 40 52 05 you can call and you can get to know about IPM, that integrated prelims mains test series. Everything related to this test series you will get to know. And all the things which are going on from SPG program, there are multiple programs which are going on. APEC batch is very important for your UPSC prelims. So the batch 2 is starting. Batch 2 has started. You can join that batch 2 also. It would be really helpful for your upcoming UPSC prelims 2025. Okay. So comment has come. Sir, India must develop AI like China's DeepSeek to boost innovation, strengthen security, and ensure technological self-reliance. Yes, and if China has shown that, China might have also, taken some probably China might have imported illegally also some of the chips. You might never know from black market, but yes, that is something which we need to learn from China. They are dominating the world in 57 out of 64 important technologies. From 3 to 57, that is what they have been able to achieve in around 15-20 years. They have been able to do those, something which India also needs to learn. Now moving towards the prelims decode today. So this is about Guillain-Barre Syndrome or Guillain-Barre Syndrome. So this one person in Pune has died because of it. Center team is in Pune and around more than 100 people in Pune have been recently affected with Guillain-Barre Syndrome. So basically this syndrome, it's a neurological disorder in which your immune system starts attacking your nervous system. Your immune system starts attacking your nervous system. So when does your immune systems get activated? For example, you're having fever or some virus or something which is coming in your body. So your immune system gets activated. But on the other hand, in this syndrome, your immune system starts attacking your own nervous system. So it's a neurological disorder. The body's immune system attacks the peripheral nervous system. It will start attacking your peripheral nervous system, and we don't even have some cure regarding this, and we don't even correctly know what are the reasons behind it. So this is part of the nervous system outside the brain and the spinal cord. It controls muscles. This peripheral, I'm talking about the peripheral nervous system, is outside the brain and the spinal cord. So it controls your muscle movement, pain signals, and temperature and touch sensation. So when I touch, I feel something. So that is because of the peripheral nervous system. Pain signals, if some pain is happening. It controls muscle movement, is also done by your peripheral nervous system. So under the GBES, your immune system attacks your peripheral nervous system. It is also called acute inflammatory demyelinating polyradiculoneuropathy, AIDP. Okay, it can occur at any age, but it is most common affecting people between 30 to 50 years. 30 and 50, between this basically age years. The exact cause of the disease remains unclear. What is the reason behind it? But it is often observed following a viral or bacterial infection you had, that this GBS, you might be suffering from this. So vaccination or major surgery. So vaccination, major surgery, bacterial infection, viral infection. After this, chances of GBS increases. There is no cure for this syndrome. So only thing which is done is that common treatment is that intravenous immunoglobulin, IVIG, which is made from donated blood that contains healthy antibodies. So donated blood which has healthy antibodies is given to you, and that is the only current solution to this problem. So this helps calm down the immune system attack on the nervous system. Because of this healthy antibodies coming, so it stops attacking. That is the only solution to this problem. So please remember this GBS, or which we are also calling Guillain-Barre Syndrome, because your immune system starts attacking your own peripheral nervous system. So immune system, peripheral nervous system, cure, lot of pointers are there which can become a good prelims question. So from prelims point of view, very important. Now moving towards today's editorial. So in today's editorial, we are talking about, taken from Indian Express. It is about on view on the report on the state finances roadmaps needed. Okay, so if you remember, on 25th January, I had covered these topics: what is GSDP, what is GSDP ratio, and what is debt sustainability. This slide has been taken from 25th January only, so you can go through it. What is GSDP? Like, that is gross state domestic product. So it's in very simple term, all finished goods and services which are generally made within a year in the state boundaries, that would be your GSDP. So all finished goods and services produced during a given period of time, that is generally a year, within the state boundaries, that would be your gross state domestic product. Obviously those goods and services without duplication. If the same thing is done with the boundaries of the India, it becomes GDP. And GSDP ratio is the ratio of state outstanding liabilities to gross state domestic product. Debt sustainability of a country is that borrower to meet debt obligation, that whatever debt it is able to pay the debt on time, and it also shows an acceptable level of economic growth. So this we had covered on 25th also, because these terms might be used in the editorial news. That is why I've added this slide again. So reports on state finances, it says state debt in India has shown improvement. Good news, with the debt to GDP ratio declining from 31% in 2021 to 28.5% in 2024. So the debt to GDP ratio is declining, which shows a very good and a positive signal for states' debt or states' financial health in India. However, significant regional disparities still exist, such as power sector losses and freebies. Freebies is an important problem, because to win election now, every political party is giving election freebies. because if you don't give freebies, it has almost become impossible to win the election. That is what we see in today's election. So rather than just blaming the political parties, I will not do so, because political parties, if A start doing it at B, has to pander to voters, because people are looking for these political freebies. It's very easy to blame these political parties. The problem is that when they give freebies and we know that this political party will not at all work, it is only interested in giving freebies, then also we make them, we give them votes and they come in the power, and then the state suffers. So the people mindset also need to change, because if they don't change, we are still relying on freebies, then there would be a huge amount of pressure on the state's exchequer, and hence the debt will increase, because you will keep more borrowing than keep borrowing more money to give these freebies. You will not have that revenue to do this expenditure. For example, your earning is 1000 rupees and your spending is only 500 rupees, so you have an excess of 500, but suddenly you start giving freebies which now cost 2000 rupees. So now your expenditure is 2500, but your revenue is 1000. For this remaining 1500, you will borrow that money to give this freebies, so that you remain in power and keep winning the elections. Probably you win the election also, but the problem will continue, because your debt is increasing, which eventually will not be good for the financial health of the state. So this is a problem. So we needed intervention and fiscal consolidation to fight this. So we had covered the states like Odisha, Chhattisgarh, and Odisha, Gujarat have low debt to GSDP ratio, while Punjab ranks highest. And Punjab, under this is a continuous thing with the state, central government continuously telling Punjab that they need to work on their debt to GDP ratio, and their debts are very high. But Punjab, rather than solving this, they are coming with more freebies and free schemes. So Niti Aayog Fiscal Health Index assesses 18 sector using 5 sub-indices, and 5 sub-indices are based on fiscal prudence, debt index and sustainability, which we just covered, revenue mobilization and quality of spending. What is the quality of spending and how much has been spent on various infrastructure and other things. Top and bottom performance. So this we covered on 25th also, that Odisha, Chhattisgarh, Goa, Jharkhand and Gujarat are performing. Gujarat anyways is performing. If you just open X or Twitter, it's only Ahmedabad and Ahmedabad. The way they have been able to do the Coldplay Chris Martin show, it speaks volumes about. So, everybody knew about Ahmedabad, but the way everybody knows about Ahmedabad now is very different. Something which I will ask my all viewers to go and read about, and how they were able to do such a massive, concert was done. More than 35 lakh people had come, and without any traffic and any other issues. So, bottom 5 states: Punjab, Andhra Pradesh, West Bengal, Kerala, Haryana. Now, Kerala and West Bengal, Kerala might be very high on social indicators, but when it comes to debt and financial growth of the state and industry, it is one of the lowest performing states. And why I talk about Kerala? Because Kerala is very good, high on social indicators, health, literacy. That means it should be performing less, but because of the ideology which is followed in the state, and it has an anti-capitalist, or for that matter industries don't survive there, and this is what we see. So this is obviously the problem from the debt point of view, but even from the point of view economy and industry, it is not going. West Bengal around 1967 used to be one of the highest contributors to the GDP of the country, but see where it is today. So this is what the governments and political parties, if they are not working for the growth of the state, this is where you eventually will land. So concerns regarding loss-making power distribution companies, and also West Bengal, Punjab, these are some of these states are which give a lot of freebies, and when you give freebies and you don't earn, this will happen, your debt will increase. Rising freebies and guarantees, increasing debt to GSDP ratio in Punjab and West Bengal, signaling debt sustainability concern. So if your debt to GSDP ratio is very high, that means you are not able to handle your debt sustainability is very poor, and which shows that your growth is not good, or probably moving towards not a great direction. So RBI report has flagged states like Bihar, Kerala, Punjab, Rajasthan and West Bengal as highly stressed. Okay, so recommendation: detailed fiscal roadmaps. Whatever this report has told, what are the steps needs to be taken, that needs to be implemented. Framework for comparison. like identifying the areas for improvement and sharing best practices which might have been adopted by other states which can be done. Urgent reforms needs necessitate immediate interventions. Okay, so states have made progress, but persistent fiscal demand targeted reforms that you need to continuously work upon in the states which have not been performing, like Punjab, Andhra Pradesh, Kerala, West Bengal. So focus needs to be put by these states on the right framework and have fiscal prudence so that they come back on the target and achieve fiscal stability, and this disparity which is existing, that can be reduced. So the question is, discuss the significance of fiscal health index in assessing the financial stability of Indian state. I've given you a bit of framework for answering this question. So in the extra mile today, you have got the Guillain-Barre Syndrome for the life threatening. So you can also read this. This is in the Hindu today. You can also follow Sapna ma'am for ICANN 2.0, which comes on the channel. So guys, thank you very much. Please guys, please do like the session. You're not liking the session, please like the session. Please, again I'm asking, share the session and do comment. Do also comment once the session is over, and ask your friends to join it, and please share this on your WhatsApp, share on your WhatsApp and other things. And we will soon be coming with lot of short videos also for your help, so that you will also get that 1-minute video content which would be helpful for your examination. Okay, so thank you very much and Jai Hind.